Understanding how to use colors correctly in your photographs will help you create higher quality and more interesting photos that hold your viewers' attention for much longer. But for some reason, many photographers try to improve only their technical shooting skills, completely forgetting how important properly chosen colors are in a photograph. In this photography lesson, we're going to practice choosing the right colors for your images. Hi there, my name is Alexander Ippolitov. I'm a member of the European Association of Professional Photographers, and my photos and articles have been featured in publications like National Geographic and Discovery. So let's not waste any time, let's jump right in. Knowing color and understanding how to use it correctly is an essential skill for photographers. And like any skill, it requires study and practice. After you watch this lesson, make sure to apply what you've learned in real shooting situations. That's the only way you'll truly understand the material. There's no substitute for hands-on practice. But before we talk about how to combine colors correctly, we need to understand how the color palette itself works. This will take no more than a minute or two. So let's begin. The color wheel has been used by artists and scientists ever since Isaac Newton first created it back in 1666, if I'm not mistaken. Today, there are many variations of the color wheel, but the basic one gives you all the essential information you need, both about colors and about how they interact with one another. This primary wheel shows three types of colors: primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors. Let's go step by step. The primary colors are the three fundamental colors that form the simplest version of the color wheel. Red, yellow, and blue are the primary colors. They cannot be created by mixing other colors. Every other color is a combination of these three primaries. Secondary colors are green, orange, and purple. They are created by mixing two primary colors. For example, green is a mix of blue and yellow. Orange is a mix of red and yellow. Purple is a mix of red and blue. Then we have tertiary colors. These are created by mixing a primary color with a secondary color. In simple terms, these colors are yellow-orange, red-orange, red-purple, blue-purple, blue-green, and yellow-green. 6 in total. As I mentioned earlier, the color wheel has been refined and modified over time. One of the most useful versions for photographers is Johannes Itten's color wheel. It includes a set of built-in hints. For example, it shows the primary colors, the secondary colors, and a few other helpful guides that you'll see in the examples later in the lesson. Now, let's get to the fun part. How do you combine colors harmoniously in your photographs? Let's go through the most popular methods. The first one is complementary colors. Complementary colors are located directly opposite each other on the color wheel. For example, red and green, yellow and purple, or blue and orange. When you use them together, they create high contrast, a contrast that is very pleasing to the viewer's eye. That means such combinations have a strong visual impact. So when composing your shot, try to look for and include objects whose colors sit opposite each other on the color wheel. Here are a few examples. You might find a red flower and position your shot so that the background consists only of green grass or green leaves. By the way, here's a small tip. If the colors in your scene don't match as well as you'd like, and this applies not just to complementary colors, but to all other combinations, you can always adjust the colors in a photo editor. Programs like Photoshop or Lightroom make this extremely easy. Now I'll show you how to match colors to the color wheel so they look more harmonious. Let's move on. Analogous colors are sets of 3 colors that sit next to each other on the color wheel. Using analogous color combinations creates a calm, harmonious feeling in photos. These colors appear naturally in nature and are very pleasing to the eye. For example, you can choose one dominant color and use the others to support it. This helps you create more relaxed, peaceful images. Don't worry if you can't find colors that perfectly match the color wheel in real life. If they're close enough, that's usually more than enough. For example, you can find one of the main colors, let's say blue, and combine it with blue-green and green in your frame. This creates a cool-toned, visually harmonious photograph. Choosing warmer combinations like red-orange tones results in images with a warmer, more inviting feeling. Look around more often. You may discover that these combinations appear naturally, even in your own backyard or garden. But creating truly beautiful photographs depends not only on choosing the right color combinations. There are many techniques and creative approaches that I explain in detail in my photography course, I Am a Photographer. If you want to learn how to create stunning images under the guidance of a professional instructor, check it out. The link is in the video description. But let's not get sidetracked. Let's keep going. Next is the classic triad. A triad is a combination of 3 colors evenly spaced around the color wheel. The triangle built into the Itten color wheel helps you visualize this. Red, blue, and yellow form a triad. So do orange, green, and purple. You can also use a set of 3 tertiary colors as a triad. Next, we have monochromatic colors. To explore this category, let's look at a modified version of the color wheel, one that includes not only the basic colors, but also their shades, sometimes referred to as the value or lightness of a color. Different shades of the same color used together create interesting visual variations. A shade, in simple terms, is the same color with black added if it's darker, or white added if it's lighter. Think of it as the brightness level of a color. Find an object in your home or backyard that you can use to experiment with monochromatic compositions. The color will remain essentially the same, but its shades will differ, and that's what makes the composition visually engaging. The appeal of a monochromatic palette depends on how many different shade levels you can include. Green on green is the most common monochromatic combination we see in nature. This is not a complete list of color combinations, but it's more than enough to help you create excellent color harmony in your photographs. Did you enjoy this lesson? Support the release of new tutorials by subscribing and leaving a like. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss new photography lessons.